We have 31 countries represented, which is incredible in our growing population here. I think the most predominant way that we have global perspectives in classrooms is through active listening and demonstrations of learning. And what I mean by that is that students have flexibility to share what they've learned and how they've learned it in a way that is comfortable for them and can demonstrate what's important to them. It's hard to sum it up in just a few words because it's definitely a feeling. And I hope that everybody can come and visit and feel how special it is. But I would start by saying welcoming. When you walk through the gate of school, everyone is so excited to see someone new and can't wait to share what their experience has been like. Students volunteer very quickly to have a prospective family shadow them, to tour them around campus. So that feeling of being welcomed into a community is there from the second you walk in. I'd also say it's very inclusive. As I mentioned, we have 31 nationalities represented just in our inaugural class. And so we are very open to understanding different cultures and communities and languages, in the halls and in our curriculum. And so that is something that is also palpable. People are very proud of where they're coming from and very uplifted for who they are. And then lastly, I'd say it's an ambitious community, right? So we're not new to education. Brewster Academy was founded in 1820, but we're new to Madrid. We landed here just last year. And so all of the students and families who joined our community in that first year and now in our second year are excited. And they want to be involved. They want to make the school the best it can be. Students are starting clubs left and right. They're wanting to get involved in community service events. They're starting new teams. Anything that they see, they want to change. They don't see it as a setback. They see it as a goal, and they find a teacher that supports them to do that, and we take off. So it's definitely a welcoming, inclusive, and ambitious community. A lot of different ways. As I mentioned, we have 31 countries represented, which is incredible in our growing population here. I think the most predominant way that we have global perspectives in classrooms is through active listening and demonstrations of learning. And what I mean by that is that students have flexibility to share what they've learned and how they've learned it in a way that is comfortable for them and can demonstrate what's important to them. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you have a student who's coming from a culture where it's not very common to speak in public, or they're not very comfortable with that, they can choose to demonstrate their learning in a different way. And then if you have a student like I was, who I couldn't wait to get up in front of the classroom and give a presentation, you can do that. And then slowly the teachers will work with all the students to help them get out of their comfort zone a little bit. So I think that's a particular way that might not be as obvious, but allows for understanding of culture and community and where students come from in the curriculum, so that they have flexibility in how they demonstrate what they know. And then in any and every class, and including those which aren't as discussion based historically, like math, you're always seeing different global perspectives come into the classroom. Also, in terms of international cultural events, we certainly address current events as they're happening in the real world. We don't shy away from difficult conversations, and we want to make sure that students are informed and feel comfortable about what's happening in the world before we dive into the lesson of the day or incorporate it into the lesson of the day. We have students who have easy access to information from around the world, so we need to address that, right? We don't want them to just be thinking about different current events. We want them to be talking about them and engaging in civil discourse. It's okay not to agree with students and amongst students, but we think that conversation is very important, and engaging in these conversations is important. And then lastly, I'll just add that beyond the curriculum and beyond the classroom, our faculty is always engaging in global perspectives and improving cross-cultural understanding. We have a weekly press clipping that goes out from our marketing department about the latest in education, both in Spain and around the world, so that teachers are always informed. We also have PD opportunities both in country and abroad for our teachers. And then for NEASC, we actually had the accreditation team come and train our faculty. We had 15 faculty members who are trained, and now we'll be doing accreditation visits both in Spain and abroad. So we'll be able to work with other schools and learn learn from them and share what we know as well. So the idea of being a global community is not just limited to how we interact with our students, but also our teachers are constantly being given opportunities to improve their understanding and how they bring it to the classroom. We're very excited about our boarding opportunity. So our campus for our boarding students will be in La Moraleja, which is just north of the city with very easy access. So we'll still be using Madrid as our classroom. And then our boarding facilities are going to be a short drive from campus. So we'll provide transportation to and from every day, as well as pastoral care. And it is a beautiful complex that has a pool, that has dining facilities, and that really gives the comfort of home feeling. They're smaller apartment setups, so it'll be probably double rooms for the most part, and having different residential staff living with the students. And that residential staff, their 24-hour job is taking care of the students. So they'll be part of the transportation to and from campus and collaborate with on-campus facilities, and then make sure when students are leaving school at the end of the day that they're coming back to something that feels like home. So they'll have dinners together, there'll be study hall hours, there'll be activities before bed as well. And we want to make sure that students have this kind of oasis a little bit in near Madrid, so that they're able to be integrated into the school community. We'll also have activities where our day students will be able to come to our residential area. And then on the weekends, we'll be providing activities where they're going into the city very frequently, or on different overnights, because there's so much to see nearby. But essentially we have this oasis where there's a complex that we living together, and our beautiful boarding campus in La Moraleja, where they'll have extensive facilities and a very iconic building actually in La Moraleja where we're launching, which used to be a convent. So it has some historical background in the neighborhood, and people are very excited to see it come to life again. So it's going to be an adventure together, but as I've seen, we're an ambitious community, and it's been so great to have students really build the community with us. So we're excited to have our first cohort of boarding students join us. And so in addition to everything they'd receive in their academic day, in terms of having an advisor that they meet with multiple times per week, to a college counselor starting even in ninth grade, we do a lot of different workshops and programs even with our ninth graders, so that by the time they apply to college, it's not this daunting, scary thing. It's something that they're ready for and they're excited for. That is what they're going to have during their academic day. And then they're also going to have this team of incredible residential staff that are there for everything they need. If they're feeling homesick, if they want a certain type of food that they miss from home, we'll do our best to find that. If they want to try and visit this tiny town in Spain as an afternoon activity or weekend activity, let's try it. So we have this team of equipped and experienced people from boarding school that are ready to, again, build this with the students. And so all of our teaching staff and all of our residential staff have a wide range of experience in boarding communities, whether it's through summer programs, international exchanges, and they're coming here to build something together. And so there's a wonderful amount of support. And then if students are struggling in any classes, they'll have both support on campus with our learning support team and academic support in the evenings from our residential staff. So we're very open to students, who may need a little bit of a boost in English, or who are navigating some organizational skills that they want to get better at. We are open and ready to support students who are looking to grow in a 24-hour community with us.